Hello, the problem that I want to discuss today is about supporting a ladder on a wall when it is reclining on a certain surface. So we have a surface here and we have the wall here, and this is the ladder. Pretty rough work here. So let us see the possibility whether the ladder can be supported on the various cases. For example, let me first think that when we place a ladder like this, there is a natural tendency that the ladder, this point of the ladder will try to slip like this, and this point of the ladder will try to slip like this. It's a natural tendency because it is done by this weight of this thing, which is the downward force here. This is the weight. Now let me say that the wall does not have friction. It means that the force applied by the wall on this point of the ladder will be exactly normal, which is the normal reaction force. And here, let me say that this surface has got friction. So that means in opposition to this force, the surface will be giving this sort of force, frictional force on this point of the ladder. So this is the frictional force. And there is one normal reaction force here, which will be like this. So this is the normal reaction force. Now the resultant of these two forces will be such that, so this is the force here, the resultant of these two forces will be somewhat like this, and this will be the resultant force at that point because of friction and the normal reaction. Now if I draw these points here, it will be like this. So this force will be somewhat like this, and this force will be somewhat like this, and this force will be, the weight will be somewhat like this. Now, can this system be in equilibrium? Let us see whether a triangle can be formed or not. With the various values of these things, can you form a triangle? So, what we can do is, let me draw this force here. First of all, draw this force. Let me draw this force here, and let me draw this force. So, let me draw this force. So, if I adjust their values, a triangle can be formed. So, that means the system can be in equilibrium, which means that yes, the ladder can be supported. So if we have friction here, the ladder can be supported whether there is friction here or not. Now let us say we have friction here as well. So when it tries to slip, the friction tries to hold this ladder up. So that means the reaction now, the resultant now will be somewhat like this. So here this force will be becoming somewhat like this. So let us see whether a triangle can be formed or not. So by adjusting their values, a triangle can be formed. So if we can make this thing less, we can have a triangle like this. So we have shortened it, and triangle can be formed. So that means this system also can exist. That means the thing can be in equilibrium. So now we have seen the two cases. We have friction here. And we don't have friction here. In both the cases, the system can be in equilibrium. Now, let us think that there is no friction here. So, if we don't have friction here, what happens is the only force available will be the reaction force. Let us first assume that there is no friction here. So let's see whether this system can be in equilibrium or not. For that, we have to see whether a triangle can be formed or not. So here, this force will be somewhat like this. This force will be somewhat like this. This force will be, and this will be somewhat like this. So can you form a triangle here? No, because these and these cancel each other, and here we cannot form a triangle. So if I do like this, first this, and if I do like this, no triangle can be formed. So that's why such system cannot exist. That means the ladder will slip. Now let us say if I have friction here, the resultant will be like this, So let us see whether in this case a triangle can be formed. So in this case also no triangle can be formed, because if I do like this, so let me first draw this, then I draw this, then I draw this. So where's the triangle? We can't form a triangle. Or let us say if I draw first this, and then this, and then this. Where is the triangle? We can't form a triangle. So that's why the system cannot be in equilibrium, which means that the ladder will again slip. So that means through all these four cases, four possibilities among, so what we have is, if we have friction here, the ladder will be supported, whether there is friction here or not. And if we don't have friction here, the ladder will not be supported, whether there is friction here or not.